Shining English Reader, Class 6.
Chapter 15, Voyage of Discovery.
It was roused at dawn by the crowing of the cocks. I awoke my family, and we'd explore the other side of the river and seek traces of our ship companions. Since such an excursion could not be undertaken by all the members of the family, my wife courageously agreed to stay behind with our 3 youngest boys, while I proceeded with Fritz on a journey of discovery. We prepared for our departure. We each carried a bag for game or hatchet, a pair of pistols, a gun, some biscuits, and a flask of fresh river water. My wife now called us to a breakfast of lobster, whose flesh proved so hard that there was a great deal left when our meal was finished. We packed it for our journey. I asked my wife to stay as near the boat as possible during daytime, which in case of danger was the best and most speedy means of escape. When the time for departure drew near, we all melted into tears. I seized the instant to draw Fritz away and set out on our journey. The banks of the river were everywhere steep and difficult. We followed its course till we arrived at a cluster of rocks where the stream formed a cascade over large fragments of river bed. By stepping upon these and leaping now and then, we managed to reach the other side. We followed a short way along the rock, but walking on this kind of surface would exhaust us, so we walked along the river. When we had proceeded about 100 paces, we heard a loud noise behind us and saw a rustling motion in the grass. Fearing a serpent, a tiger, or some other wild animal, we were pleasantly surprised on seeing but our faithful dog, Turk, rushing out. We again continued walking, careful to keep as near the shore as possible, look in boats for our ship companions or the boats which had taken them away from us, but in vain. After walking 2 leagues, we entered a wood, a little further from the sea. Here we threw ourselves on the ground, under the shade of a tree, by the side of a clear running stream, and refreshed ourselves with some provisions. We heard the chirping, singing birds, and admired their attractive plumage. Fritz had seen some monkeys among the bushes, and this was confirmed by Turk's loud bark. Presently, Fritz stumbled on a small round object, which he believed was some kind of a nest. I assured him that it was a cocoa nut, whose skin had been destroyed by time and whose fibers were twisted. When we broke the shell, it was empty with a dried skin, as it had lain on the ground for so long. A little later, we had the good luck to find another nut. We opened it, and finding it sound, we sat down and ate it for dinner, saving the provisions we had brought. We made our way across the wood, being often obliged to cut a path through the bushes with our hatchet. At length we reached a plain, which was quite open. We next entered a forest where we discovered the bottle-gourd tree. I showed Fritz how the rind could be used for making utensils. Fritz jumped with joy. How happy my mother will be, he cried in ecstasy. She need no longer fear that when she makes soup, we shall scald our fingers. Every resource in the wild has potential. You just need to know how to unlock it. I showed my son a simple trick, wrapping a length down a dried gourd to split it cleanly without cracking the shell. While he set to work, shape a few smaller pieces into spoons. I turned my attention to the larger harvest. In no time, I had turned the bigger gourds into 2 sturdy serving dishes and a collection of smaller plates. But we needed more than just tableware. Taking a soft young gourd, I bound a piece of linen tightly near the stalk. As it grows against the binding, it will naturally form the narrow neck of a water flask. Green gourds warp and shrink as they lose moisture, which could easily ruin hours of careful work to keep their shape true. We packed every container dense with dry sand. We set them aside to cure in the sun, ready to be collected when our journey brings us back this way. We once again went on our way, not forgetting to keep a lookout for the missing sailors, but in vain. After a walk of about 4 leagues in all, we arrived at a spot where a strip of land reached far out into the sea, on which we saw a hill. We reached the top after many efforts, perspiring greatly. From here, we beheld a scene of wild and solitary beauty, a vast extent of land and water. The blue tint of the sea, the waves into the rays of the sun were reflected. The woods of variegated hues and colors formed a picture of great magnificence. We realized the goodness of the divine being in affording special protection to us, in conducting us to a home where we had not experienced cause the want of food and where there was safety for us all. We descended the hill and made our way to a wood of palms. We advanced cautiously, lest we be bitten by a snake. I saw a glutinous stalk for my defense. I tasted it and found a glutinous sap oozing out of the reed. Realizing we were passing through a sugar plantation, I determined not to tell Fritz. I called out and asked him to cut a reed for his own defense. He cut a reed and used it as a stick, striking lustily on all sides to clear a passage. This caused the sap to run onto his hands. Amazed, he licked his hand and then exclaimed, "Father, Father, I have found some sugar, some syrup. I have a sugar cane in my hand." We were soon together, jointly partaking of the pleasure we had in store for his dear mother and brothers. Fritz cut a dozen of the largest canes, tied them with their leaves, and dragged them. We regained the wood of palms and stretched our limbs in the shade. A large number of monkeys, terrified by the sight of us and Turk, swung to the topmost part of the trees. I began to throw some stones at them, enraging them till they furiously tore off the coconuts and threw them upon us. With difficulty we avoided the blows, but in short time a great many coconuts lay around us. We opened the shells with a hatchet, but first in drinking the milk through the 3 small holes made by inserting the point of a knife. Then we scraped off the solid cream, adhering to it, and ate it with relish. Our meal being finished, we tied all the coconuts and I threw them across my shoulder. Fritz picked up his bundle of sugar cane, and we divided the rest of things between us before continuing our journey homeward.